Howard Bender, a.k.a. Roto Buzz Guy, is here to help you get through Thursday on Getting Buzzed. And now, please welcome to the virtual stage, Mr. Howard Bender.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome in. Thanks for joining me here for another episode of Getting Buzz. That's right. I'm Howard Bender, also known as the Roto Buzz Guy. You can see the name right down there at the bottom of the screen. You can find me on Twitter. Really appreciate everybody joining me. If this is the first time that you've joined Getting Buzz, listen, it's sports talk. It's fantasy sports talk. And it's all with a little bit of an edge. That's right. Everybody seems to love salty Howard, and that's kind of what you get here. And listen, we've got an amazing show for you guys here. Rolling out the guests in style. You guys know him as the voice of the New York Jets. He does play-by-play for ESPN, for college football, for regular football. He even does it for the NHL. Joining us here later on in the show, none other than Bob Wischusen. And I'm super excited to have him. For those of you who know or have followed me for a while, Bob and I are in a fantasy football league together called the Jam On Fantasy Football League. Half rock stars, half sports guys. And that's and we all have an appreciation for the job everybody does. There's a whole lot of smack talk going on there. So stay tuned here. We're going to break down everything that has to happen for the New York Jets. And then we're also going to have a little fun with Bob Wischusen today. We're going to put his play-by-play skills to the test. But before we continue with our show, before we talk about some of the latest headlines and news around there, let's bring him in here. Where is my guy? My right-hand man, my compadre. Look at him. Look at that smile on his face. It's like the cat that ate the canary. Adam Bernard at Pucking Thoughts on the old Twitter machine. Adam, how are you, man?
All right, that crowd makes me feel good every time you pop me on the screen. They give me a big hello. It's a real confidence boost. It really helps you out here, you know? Really gets the Thursday going.
I like the fact that you appreciate the studio audience. I appreciate the fact that they love you as well. Confidence booster? I don't really think you need one, dude. Come on.
Oh, thank you, Howard.
Come on.
Nice. Everybody could use a shot in the arm from time to time, you know?
I figure you got to have confidence walking around with that shirt on. What is like a tablecloth at Denny's? What is that?
It's old school, baby. You know what I am? I'm a 40-year-old man that's still wearing the clothes I bought when I was going to work in the city every day like 10 years ago. And it's like, well, I work from home now. I throw on a collared shirt for this show and like one other one. Otherwise, it's, shorts and a T-shirt.
God bless you for that. Yeah, I do the collared shirt here, but I'm still kind of in my, wearing like the rock T-shirt there still, I'm like, and then from the waist below, nothing. I work from home. I don't feel required to wear pants at all.
I mean, it's hot out and it keeps it cool down there. So.
Right. My wife's like, where'd the Jello mold go? Hon, it's really hot in the shed. I'm not going to lie. Really hot in the shed. Well, Adam, the work that you put in for today's game for Bob Wischusen, and I'm just going to build this up for everybody here. Hard at work as always. You do such an amazing job. I don't know if you guys really have the appreciation for Adam Bernard like I have the appreciation for Adam Bernard. This guy is the one who keeps the trains running on time. This is the guy who makes me look good. And I appreciate that, Adam.
There'll be another train visual later in the show. Don't you worry.
Oh. Dude, if you're up to the same stuff that you did last week, come on. You trying to upstage me? I'm supposed to be the funny one. You're just supposed to be my lovable sidekick. Come on.
I mean, sometimes, it's a give and take. Some weeks that's you, some weeks that's me, it's a team effort here.
It's always a team effort, no doubt about it. Well, that's Adam Bernard, and let's get to what we got going on. Oh, he's like, peace, I'm out of here. He's like that gif of the kid who's just like boom, and then he fades away. We're gonna get to a couple of things here because listen, what's going on around the NFL right now? And for fantasy football players, for just fans of the game of football, it's turned into nothing but TV drama. So I've decided to take the two big hit series that the NFL has decided to cast and put forth to everybody here with some TV themed action. And we're going to start off with everybody's favorite soap opera that's going on right now. Have you all caught the latest episode of the running backs and the restless. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I like the way Nick Chubb is just kind of laying in on Austin Eckler like that. That's a beautiful moment right there. There's Christian McCaffrey looking all sorts of styling. And the theme music too. Listen, it's a soap opera right now with running backs. We've talked about it here on the show. What a disaster that things are going on right now. We get it. Running backs crying about being underpaid, not signing franchise tags, all the stuff that goes along with all of that drama. So when last we left off, we had some unsigned running backs. We also had some running backs who might have been visiting other teams. There's a lot of drama here. So, let's kind of recap the soap opera action here. And let's start off here with the latest storyline that's come into play. Yeah, there it is. Where will Kareem Hunt sign? That's right. Kareem Hunt's character resurrected from the dead. We haven't heard word one about this guy. Word one. And then all of a sudden now, Alvin Kamara is suspended for, 3 games. And now Kareem Hunt, ooh, right? And for all you Days of Our Lives fans who remember like all the bad guys being like brought back from the dead. Well, this is what's happening with Kareem Hunt, because if you watch Kareem Hunt play last year, dead. He was dead to fantasy owners. He was dead to the Browns. And I actually have a source who's contacted the front office of the Browns who actually specifically said that, yes, Kareem Hunt clearly lost more than just a step. And that's why he was phased out of that offense. That's why Nick Chubb got all the extra work. There was no Kareem Hunt. But now here we go. He's making the rounds. And he goes to the Saints because they're going to be in need of a running back possibly. Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara, kind of the same style running back. You still got Jamal Williams. You still got Kendry Miller there. But those guys are getting bumped down on the character list because now we're checking out Kareem Hunt, who's going to possibly replace Kamara for the first 3 weeks. Everything was all hunky-dory until ESPN's Diana Rossini said, well, there you go. Kareem Hunt is expected to sign with the Saints, and you know what happened after that. Kareem Hunt's agent came busted into the room and pounds his fist on the desk of Diana Rossini and says, what are you doing? You're killing my value here. I'm trying to make a buck for my client, and now you're taking it out of it. So what did he do? He said to Kareem, he said, do me a favor. You leave New Orleans without a contract, get your buns over to Indianapolis, go hang out with the Colts. We got to start a bidding war. We know that the bidding war works because it's all going on right now. And that's what's happening there. But latest word is that Kareem Hunt left Indianapolis also without a contract. So the to be continued on the Kareem Hunt saga that extends. Now, as far as Alvin Kamara goes, as far as the Saints go, well, I don't know what's going to happen here. Kamara in the NFL jail for 3 games? What are we going to do? He's sitting there. He's eating nothing but bread and water. He's got the metal cup that he's just kind of dragging across the cell. He's making a little noise there. You got what you got. You made your bed. Now you got to lie in it. Just be thankful you only got 3 games, buddy. But now the question is what happens? If there's no camera time for Alvin Kamara, the secondary characters are supposed to step up, but no, they got shoved to the side by the Kareem Hunt news. Nobody's talking about Jamal Williams. Nobody's talking about Kendry Miller. In fact, people who are actually drafting in fantasy drafts right now are soured on Kendry Miller so much that I did a draft yesterday and he went in the last round. That's right. Kamara went. Jamal Williams went. Kendry Miller, everybody was sour on. Is that right? Is that fair? I don't think so. But we're going to have to wait and see because the saga continues. The drama is here, and it's all being left unsettled right now. The Big Easy ain't so easy anymore. In other storylines around the running backs and the restless, yep, where in the world is Dalvin Cook signing? We talked about this. It's a tactic. That's all it is. We saw it right there with Kareem Hunt and his agents shipping him off to Indianapolis. Said, go let them kick the tires on you over there. Same thing with Dalvin Cook. The suitors include the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots. What's he doing? He's doing the smart thing. He's pitting 3 teams in the same division against each other, and he's waiting for one of them to blink and pay him his money. That's what he's hoping for. We'll see about that. Now, the Jets and the Dolphins, they're all playing coy right now. They're like, well, I mean, this is nothing more than a luxury signing for us. We're pretty happy with what we've got. Well, guess what? We know you're not happy with what you got. We know that the Jets are worried about Breece Hall's knee. We know that the Dolphins are just worried about that crew in general. Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson. When was the last time either one of those guys spent a healthy season on the field? All right, you brought in Devin A-Chain, but what's he going to do? So, again, it's left unsettled. And like any other good soap opera, it's going to go on and on and on. And maybe you get a little resolution at some point. But when that happens, and they drop another character into the fold, and guess what happens? That's right. Your twin brother that you didn't even know existed starts looking to steal your job. And finally, in the last of this, the running backs and the restless, yeah, there he is. Looks like he wants to play for the Jets, doesn't he? Doesn't Josh Jacbs look like he wants to be a Jet? It's not going to happen yet, bro. But God bless you. I like you. I dig you. But now all of a sudden, guess what? The team getting a little unnerved. They're trying to show you that they can be okay. They brought in your understudy, Zamir White, and now they've made him the number 1 running back on their official depth chart. I don't know about you guys out there, but the official depth chart for a team is really not an official depth chart at this point right now. So while Zamir White might be somebody you're going to want to look at late in your fantasy drafts, can't bank on it. At some point, Josh Jacbs going to blink. You really think he's going to leave $10.1 million on the table? He turned down $12 million a month ago. Is he going to be that dumb and sit out? I don't think so. I think he's trying to get him to pony up a little bit more. Maybe it's 13 mil. Maybe it's 14 mil. I don't think the team's going to go for it, but you never know. You never know. All right, let's change the channel here. Boom. And there we go. We're done with the running back saga. Oh, look at everybody's new favorite TV show. It's The Freshmen. That's right. Coming to a TV studio near you. Everybody loves this exciting new series that follows the rookie tight ends and their ADP journey throughout their first NFL preseason, starring none other than, yes, it's Dalton Kincaid from the Buffalo Bills, the master of I'm going to line up in the slot. We're all excited about him. We're all waiting to see what happens. I tell you what, I don't buy Gabe Davis. I don't even buy, who is that slot receiver they were talking about? Trent Sherfield? Nah, I don't think so either. So Dalton Kincaid, he leads the pack on this show. He's probably going to be your main character, but maybe it's like a 1 and a 1A, because open up your wallets, people. Pay that fab money or that auction dollar for Mr. Sam LaPorta. You know LaPorta is going to be heavily used in this passing offense for the Detroit Lions. Why? Because Jameson Williams is a moron, and he bet on somebody while he was in the team facility, 6-game suspension. They ain't got nobody else. There are no other decent wide receivers. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown and beyond that. So Sam LaPorta is going to get in there, and don't give me the Jahmyr Gibbs stuff. Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah. Right? I'll believe it when I see it. Right now, to me, Jahmyr Gibbs is nothing more than an overrated pass-catching third down back. So we'll see what happens there. Sam LaPorta getting ready to star in The Freshman. And then here we go. A couple of secondary characters. We're going to take a look and see what they do. You got Michael Mayer for the Las Vegas Raiders. He's sort of an understudy, or, maybe he's going to fill in here and there for Austin Hooper. We'll have to kind of wait and see what happens with that. He's one to look at and one to keep an eye on. And then don't sleep on Luke Musgrave. I'm not really into this Packers offense, but we all know that rookie quarterbacks or young, inexperienced quarterbacks, they do love to lean on that tight end. Romeo Doubs going to be a good possession guy. using that underneath work, probably going to stretch the field a little bit. Christian Watson going to stretch that field. But for that short, high percentage passing that they love doing in West Coast offenses, Luke Musgrave could be a character on the rise. So stay tuned for more episodes of The Freshman, and absolutely stay tuned for more on our good friends, the running backs and the restless. Well, there's no bigger soap opera than 50 Years of Misery starring the New York Jets. Is there? Am I right? Come on. So let's bring in one of the stars of the longest running drama in the NFL. He's the play-by-play voice of the New York Jets, one of the best in the business, calling games for the NFL, for the NCAA, for the NHL. And look at that. Son of a bitch, the guy wore a tie on the show. He dressed up for his appearance on Getting Buzz. Bob Wischusen, my man.
You're worth
Welcome
it.
in.
You're worth like nice gear.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate that.
You're worth getting dressed up for.
I'm kind of getting a little choked up. I'm getting a little misty here, Bob. Please, none of
What's
my
that?
other guests have ever dressed up.
Well, they should. They owe you.
I appreciate that. I do. So what's good, Bob? How's life treating you? How's the preseason treating you? You know, I mean, listen, we talk all the time about football. Before we get to that, did you catch any of the fish shows at the Garden this run?
2. I got to 2 of the 7. It was
Yeah?
awesome. The first night and the third night. So, you know, look, we have 5 kids. For us to get to 2 out of the 7 fish shows is like other people getting to all 7. So it was awesome. And we actually caught Metallica night 2 at MetLife Stadium as well. And that was amazing.
Had you seen Metallica before?
Never.
Oh,
Had
yeah.
never seen them live before, and they put on a show.
Huge treat. Huge treat. I saw him at
Awesome.
you know what I first saw Metallica? How about this? You ready for this one? 1987, the Monsters of Rock tour at the Meadowlands. Metallica was actually the second band on stage. They weren't even as popular as Dokken or the Scorpions at that point.
Yeah. I can give you a quick Metallica story. It's kind of a funny story. My wife will kill me the fact that I'm telling this story. But backtracking, you know Mark Cohn, like Walking in Memphis, Mark Cohn?
Very much so.
Okay. He sings a song called True Companion,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a very famous wedding song.
Yes.
Our wedding song. So like 20 years ago, Metallica is touring with the San Francisco Symphony when they did the album where they like orchestrated their songs and played with the symphony.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife, like 3 months earlier, gets tickets for us to go see Mark Cohn in the city because he sings our wedding song. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. That's great. Awesome. We're going to go. I kind of out of sight, out of mind. So fast forward 3 months, a friend of ours works at the Garden, calls up and says, I've got 4 tickets to Metallica at the Garden with the San Francisco Symphony in the round. It's going to be amazing. I'm like, oh, this is incredible. I'll go home and tell my wife. Friday night, Metallica, 4 tickets. I go, that's the night of the Mark Cohn show. Our wedding song. And my immediate reaction was, that sucks. We're going to miss our wedding song, but you're going to love Metallica. Well, where do you think we were on Friday night? Row 8, watching Walking in Memphis. And I missed, so this was my chance. She's been promising me Metallica redemption since then because she knows she kind of force-fed Mark Cohn in a tough spot. And so, yes, Sunday night we saw Sanitarium, we saw One, we saw The Unforgiven. They closed with Enter Sandman. So they know how to put on a show. It was awesome.
Yeah, I saw them at Outside Lands a couple of years ago, and my wife had never seen them. My wife was never into the metal as well, and yeah, I mean they blew us away. And they played Ride the Lightning, which they hadn't played in quite some time too. So I like it. I can't say anything bad about Mark Cohn though, because
it was great.
My wife,
it was just by comparison. It was kind of like, yeah. But whatever. It was great.
But here's your connection to bring it full circle. My wife, Deborah, her best friend in high school is related to Mark Cohn, who sang True Companion at her wedding.
You know, it's funny because he plays all of his stuff and then leaves the stage. And now it's like everybody puts their lighters up. He comes back out, hadn't played True Companion yet. He knew who was in the audience, right? Like he knew there were like 1,000, wedding couples there. So he's like, okay, I'll do another one. Is there a song anybody wants to hear? And like 300 women immediately stood up and were like, True Companion, you have to play True Companion. And so yeah, he played it incredibly well, and he definitely was like pushing the buttons of the audience he knew was there.
Of course,
I mean, it was a great show. He was
probably trying to turn it into like a Tom Jones show. It's like middle-aged women with their panties on stage. Come on,
next to their husbands.
Why not? Why not? I witnessed that in Vegas. That was tremendous. Like a husband sitting there, and there's the wife with like panty after panty after panty. I was like, man, I wish I was Tom Jones right now. Unreal. Oh, well, Bob, let's get to some football talk here. Listen, there's so much going on with the Jets. I mean, this is probably the most exciting time. And I actually said this earlier in the day. It's probably the year that their Jets fans have gone on with as much hope or the most hope I've seen since the 1999 season. They lost in the AFC Championship in 98. They come in, all high hopes. We're super excited. Vinny Testaverde ruptures his Achilles.
Don't say it.
Right? Well, I mean,
that still hurts. Yeah.
That's what it's like to be a Jets fan. So let's talk about the excitement that we got going on right now. We don't even need to talk hard knocks or anything like that. We can talk about the players because you're right there. You're in the middle of the action. You see them, you talk to them. I mean, how excited are you going into this year?
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously, they haven't really even been relevant since Rex Ryan was here. So just to know that they're going to be in every game and be a really good competitive team. Now, are they going to make a run to the Super Bowl? I mean, who knows, right? Like, it could happen. Yeah. So much of that depends on health. I mean, there's a couple of bounces of the ball here or there, and you could win or lose a game. Field goal kick at the gun could hit the upright. Like, you never know what might happen in an NFL season, but they at least go into this year with as much promise, as much enthusiasm, as much hype, and I really think as much talent as any team that they've had since those late 90s teams under Parcells. I agree that when they went to the championship game in 98, and they were winning 10-0 and were 10-3 in that game. And we really looked like they're going to go to the Super Bowl. And they brought back basically the exact same team the following year with Vinny at quarterback. Of course, he tears the Achilles, but you knew they were a really good team. There have been other teams under Herm Edwards. They went to the playoffs 3 out of his 5 years. They went to the playoffs year 1 of Mangini. They went to back-to-back championship games under Rex. Always as a wild card team, never outside of the first year that Herm took them as a division champion. But there was always this kind of undercurrent of, wow, they're a really nice story and they're overachieving. And this team actually feels like they've got contenders talent. Those other teams were really good, but they didn't have the home run hitting talent across the board that I think this team has. What those teams did have, though, especially the teams under Parcells and under Rex, was a really good, really consistent, really dependable, showing up every Sunday offensive line. Yeah. And they haven't had that. They played 8 tackles last year. If you add up everybody that played right and left tackle and you count Mekhi Becton, who I think it's fair to count because he was in training camp thinking he was going to be a starter, and he got hurt in training camp and never played. And then they played 7 other guys, including Elijah Vera-Tucker, who's a guard at both tackle spots. So it was constantly patchwork last year. You don't want to do that in front of a soon-to-be 40-year-old quarterback. But having said that, the skill position talent they have, the star it looks like Garrett Wilson's going to be, Alan Lazard and Corey Davis make up a really good receiving core. Throw in McCall Hardman. A guy like Sauce Gardner is just a totally game-changing type player at a position where it's really hard to find guys at. They should have a very deep pass rush, so they should be able to get after the quarterback. Like, they check a lot of boxes for a team that should be really good. And, of course, they've got Aaron Rodgers at the center of it all, is the straw that stirs the drink. So, yeah, I was saying Marty Lyons and I, we've been calling these games together now this will be our 22nd year together, and we don't ever remember, at least in our 22 years, a season with this kind of enthusiasm, this kind of promise. Even in 2010, after they had gone to the championship game in 2009. Right? Like, they were a nice story in 2009. They were a good team. They had some really good players. But Mark Sanchez was still a total unknown at quarterback. And, there were some guys on defense that had been injury prone. This team feels like it could really be special. You just hope it stays healthy.
Well, yeah, always the health is always the major aspect there, and you want to keep that. Like, you're right. The offensive line is definitely that linchpin that just kind of holds it together. Let me throw some questions at you here. Just Jets in general. I got to start off with the coaching change, because I'm curious as to know is who is my offensive coordinator right now. Nathaniel Hackett, terrible season last year in Denver, absolutely atrocious. The scheme never worked. Nothing mattered, and his clock management was he had to hire a specific person just to handle clock management there. But you've reunited him with Aaron Rodgers, who always has complete autonomy on the line. So I guess the real question is who is my offensive coordinator? Is it Hackett or is it Rodgers?
It's the two of them. I mean, they really are just kind of a match made in heaven. The last couple of seasons, Aaron Rodgers was with this offensive coordinator. He won back-to-back MVPs. So, and he swears by Nathaniel Hackett. So to me, it's the ultimate security blanket for the quarterback, who you want to be as comfortable as you can make him in the, only the second place that he's ever played professional football. So all I can go on is the sample size of this quarterback with this play caller.
Okay.
Now what Sean Payton had to say about him, to me, kind of inadvertently put Sean Payton on the griddle.
Yeah.
Because like what basically Sean Payton said was nothing was anyone's fault last year for the most part, other than the coach and his coaching staff. Right? That's the worst coaching job you could ever do. As long as we change the coaches, everything's going to be okay. Okay. We'll see. Because if Russell Wilson doesn't go out there this year, to me, and regain his Seattle form and go to the Pro Bowl and win 11 or 12 games, what does that say about Sean Payton and the job he's doing as the coach in Denver? So, because he made it sound like all you have to do is flip a switch and get new coaches in there and all will be well. So we'll see. To me, he's kind of put himself under the microscope. And I get it's a 1-year sample size. With Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson, maybe it was just an ill-fitting combination. And there are certain guys, we saw this over and over again with Norv Turner. Some guys are coordinators. Or like some guys really aren't head coaches. No matter how many times they want to be a head coach, and no matter how many times you want to kind of put a square peg in a round hole, some guys are just born to be coordinators and let someone else be, the CEO. Maybe that's Nathaniel Hackett. Maybe he is, at his best when just give me the offense, let me be a play caller. Maybe he learned a lot. Maybe he'll still get another shot. Again, it's a 1-year sample size. But with this quarterback, all they've ever done is have success together.
Yeah. So we can't expect Aaron Rodgers to be vintage Aaron Rodgers. That's an unrealistic expectation. I do love the fact that he does seem very rejuvenated with the Jets. He seems happy. Now, we know cantankerous relationship with the Packers and Brian Gutekunst, their GM. And, whatever the damage was over there, Rodgers seems happy right now. But, like, legitimately, what are our expectations of him, quarterbacking the Jets here? Are we thinking, is this a 4,400 yard, 25 touchdown Aaron Rodgers that we're looking at? What do you expect out of him?
Well, you're the fantasy football guy, so you are used to trying to project the numbers.
Sure.
So what would you say is a reasonable expectation for Aaron Rodgers this year? A 4,000-yard season?
Yeah, probably. 4,000
20
yards, 25 to 30 touchdown passes.
I said, so let's even go on the high side. Let's say 28, 29, 30 touchdowns. How many interceptions?
Single
digits?
Give him 8 to 10.
Okay. So if he goes 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, you can make an argument that those are the greatest numbers that a Jet quarterback has ever put up in franchise history.
Yeah.
Run through everybody, all the way back, to Joe Namath and the glory days, and then take it all the way through the Kenny O'Briens and the Chad Penningtons, the 1 year, half a year Favre was here, Vinny at his best, Mark Sanchez back-to-back championship games. I mean, anybody that's even had, I'm not running through all of the Jet quarterbacks, obviously. Off the top of my head, I'm picking out the guys that actually had success.
Richard Todd. Where's my Richard Todd?
Compare those numbers to the best that Richard Todd ever put up, and you will see that would be the best numbers a Jet quarterback has ever posted in franchise history. So would they take that? Yeah, they would take the greatest quarterbacking season they've ever seen. Yeah. I maybe have a puncher's chance to have a pretty good year if he did that. And for him, those are average numbers. Like, that's not even a reach.
Right.
We're not saying 4,500 yards. We're not saying 35 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, like one of those, just ridiculous, literally playing like 17 games and never making a mistake, Aaron Rodgers. Have him take a step or two back from that. That would still be the best quarterbacking season the Jets have ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, again, I'm not like, that's the funny thing is, like, I'm not greedy. I'm a realistic,
right.
Fan
and I don't think you
team.
have to be. With the defense the defense last year, for all of the offensive injuries, losing Breece Hall, the carousel at quarterback, 8 offensive tackles played, the defense last year stayed ridiculously healthy.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't have one significant defensive altering injury last year. Their defense, granted, unbelievably healthy. Who knows if it can stay that way? Odds are they're going to suffer a couple of injuries this year. Just law of averages on defense that will hurt them. But anybody that watched their defense last year would say they have a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
So if you take a top 5 defense and now put it with the greatest year that a Jet quarterback has ever put up statistically, which would really be just like an Aaron Rodgers kind of plus average year. With the weapons that he has, if Breece Hall comes back and is, 75, 80% of what he was last year, with what it looks like Garrett Wilson is, the chemistry he's got with, guys like Lazard and Cobb, McCall Hardman, Corey Davis, Michael Carter, the tight ends look really good. They look like a really good, deep tight end group. As long as they can protect him, they should be in every game. There shouldn't be any games this year with that defense and him at quarterback. We're in the fourth quarter. They're behind by 17. Like, that shouldn't happen.
Right.
So if they're in every game and they beat the teams they ought to beat, they should be an 11 or 12 win team in a 17-game season. They should be that.
Bobby, give me
a Jets fan has
goosebumps.
a right to expect that.
You're not supposed to get me this pumped up for it, man.
I know,
I'm supposed to be realistic.
People keep asking me, what do you think? But, like, what message are you sending to the world by bringing him in?
Yeah.
Like, if you thought that you were a good team, maybe some promise, young players developing, 3 or 4 years from now, though, we're really going to be coming. You'd still give the ball to Zach Wilson, and you'd still try to develop him. By bringing in Aaron Rodgers, you're announcing to the world, we think we're that good.
Yeah.
We think we're one player away. And if they're right, that means they're an 11 or 12, 13-win team and maybe winning a division, maybe getting a home playoff game. I mean, things that Jet fans haven't seen in 20 years.
Unreal. Let's touch on a couple of other things that kind of spill off of the Aaron Rodgers situation. You brought up his comfort, his level of comfort with Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, bringing those guys over. I think the rapport with Garrett Wilson is something that's just like that. To me, that's a must. Like, that's something we need. And I like the secondary and tertiary receivers. Do you feel like you're going to see, a lean towards Lazard just for that comfort factor early on in the season? Or do you think that, by the end of camp, really he and Garrett Wilson are going to be on the same page?
Yeah, no, but to me, at the end of this season, if Garrett Wilson doesn't lead this team in targets by like 30 or 40, I'll be surprised.
Okay.
He's just that level of a talent.
Beautiful.
Like, he looks like Devontae Adams Jr. when he's out there with Aaron Rodgers. So to me, that should be the level of combination that those two have the potential to become. As good as Allen Lazard is, as good as Corey Davis has been. Corey Davis has been a very consistent, productive receiver when he's been healthy. McCole Hardman obviously is a home run hit waiting to happen. Like, that's a guy, you will get him the ball 4 or 5 times a game just to see if he could do that and all of a sudden house it. Right. But to me, Garrett Wilson, 147 targets to see last year. And that's obviously with like 4 different guys throwing in the ball. He should easily be in that range this year, if not higher. I can't imagine that he's not going to be getting thrown the ball 8, 9, 10 times a game. It just, Aaron Rodgers is a football savant, right? He's a computer. Like, he knows who his best weapon is. He's going to get his best weapon the ball. He's going to find ways to get his best weapon the ball.
Beautiful. All right, let's talk about the backfield then, because then we've got some stuff going on here. Obviously, Breece Hall's coming back. Everybody recovers from an ACL injury differently, and listen, everybody's like, well, it was a clean tear, so it's going to be less. No, it's a tear of the ACL. Right. The rumors of Dalvin Cook possibly being signed to a 1-year deal. To me, as a Jets fan, I'm fine with that, because it affords you the luxury of bringing Breece Hall back a little bit slower than just throwing him right back into the fire from game 1. But what's your impression here of will Breece Hall be there week 1, or how much truth to the Dalvin Cook stuff is there, or is he just is his agent just using the Jets as leverage?
Yeah, that I don't know. Circumstantial evidence, and some reporters have suggested that this was kind of a money push to try to get the Jets involved as the hot team, kind of make a soap opera episode out of visiting, let everybody know you're going to be there, and maybe you squeeze some money out of some other teams as well. That's possible. I don't know that. What I would say about Breece Hall is, a few years ago, we saw a home run hitting, generational talented running back tear his ACL. Saquon got hurt, and here in New York, we watched him come back. And his first year back off of his injury, he was a pedestrian version of Saquon Barkley, right? Like, he wasn't himself. And I don't know what's fair to expect out of Breece Hall this year. Next year, just like Saquon the following year came back, looked like Saquon Barkley again, all of a sudden is a 1,700 yard player or whatever from scrimmage. I expect Breece Hall to eventually become that again, but I don't know that he's going to, at any time this year, look like what he looked like last year. He's beating the averages if he does. As you said, all doctors will tell you it's a year off of an ACL before you get back to what you were, and he was halfway through last season when he tore it. So that means he's going to play about a half a year of NFL football on that knee. And then second half of this year, he's going to get better. Just the wear and tear of playing that position in the league worries me. But even Breece Hall at 80% is still a really good player. And they feel good about these other 3 guys. I will say that, like, Michael Carter is a really versatile, he's not an every down back, but he's a really versatile player that, could be your third down guy. Bam Knight has maybe been, of any running back in camp, the most impressive so far. Mm-hmm. And this kid, Israel Abanikanda, he's a workhorse. He plays bigger than his numbers, his measurements say. He's a pretty, kind of downhill, immediately blast through, hit the hole kind of a running back. Scored a touchdown in the first preseason game, beating guys to the edge. So I think they feel like even if Breece Hall isn't able to become what he was last year, that by committee they can support him enough that he may not have to be.
See that, and like, you know, and a reporting like that is exactly what I want to hear. Like, I mean, listen, again, I don't mind Dalvin Cook if you're going to bring him in on a 1-year deal, because you know that your future is
right.
Breece Hall.
That's all it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, if they brought Dalvin Cook in, it would be a 1-year commitment.
Right. Which again sucks for fantasy, but phenomenal is, like, you know, just as a Jets fan in general, because, you know, while I love my fantasy championships, including, I don't know if you could see that Jam on Fantasy Football trophy right back there.
Look at that.
It's so tall, I had to put it all the way in the back.
It was bound to happen at some point.
Yeah, of course it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, listen, I for me, as Jets Super Bowl, I mean, listen, I'm not going to get overly excited about it, but I'm just saying what it would do for me. You know, like, spiritually, it would be phenomenal.
What fan base would appreciate a championship in all of sports more than the Jet fan base would appreciate a Jet championship?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of a more tortured fan base right now, you know, and a hungrier fan base and a more dedicated fan base than Jet fans, sticking, you know, through thick and thin with this team. And if Aaron Rodgers were to do this, he would be football's Mark Messier. You know, he would be the guy that came here and took the cursed franchise to the promised land. He would be that. He would be that guy forever in New York sports lore, because Messier owns a very kind of unique, rare place in the hearts of a certain fan base.
Yep.
Right? Like, even all of our other sports heroes in New York and the ones that have won championships, they weren't trying to break curses. They, you know, I mean, they didn't have chants about the team that they played for, you know, 1940, like they can't win. And I think if you ask Mark Messier, of the 5 cups that he won in Edmonton, even the one he won without Gretzky, I bet he would tell you his 6th is his most prized possession. I would also be surprised if Aaron Rodgers pulled it off here, that he wouldn't say that because of what he would experience here if he did it from this fan base, if he were to do it, that it wouldn't be the most special accomplishment for him in his career as well. And he and Messier, to me, would be like side by side in terms of the place that they would forever have in the hearts of their respective fan bases if he could do it.
I would own an Aaron Rodgers Jets jersey, just like I own
forever
a Mark Messier Rangers jersey. You're right.
There you go.
You're right. You're 1,000% right. Bob flipping Wischusen. Dude, you're getting, I'm telling you, I've got chills right now. Everything. This is everything that I hoped it would be. And then a little, then some, you know,
even with the taunting of the trophy over your shoulder,
well, that's a must. Do you want to look at it? Do you want me to
Yeah.
grab it and bring it closer?
No, leave it back there. Let's just,
Okay.
you know, like it's fine. Over your shoulder's fine.
Well, maybe you should pay a little bit closer attention to the Fantasy Alarm cheat sheet.
I know. You're right. Oh, my cheat sheet has been printed, buddy.
Oh,
I'm ready.
That's just version 2. I've got another dozen versions coming out, man. Don't worry.
Awesome. I will go through all the updates.
Now, Bob, I've you know, we've broken down the Jets. We've gone through so much here. What I like to do with my guests here on Getting Buzzed, I like to play a little game. It's always tailored towards your strong suit. So you can put your trust in me. You're gonna play a little game here.
Let's go. I'll find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Wischusen, it's time for play-by-play roulette. That's right. Bob, I've got a wheel here to spin that's got a couple of different videos in there. And we're going to put your play, because I'll tell you this, even before I met you, before the Jam on Fantasy Football, you were absolutely one of my favorite announcers. You're one of my favorite play-by-play guys. So I'll fanboy out a little bit here and put you to the test. Are you ready?
We're going to find out.
All right. My trusty associate, Adam Bernard, can we spin that wheel? Oh,
right.
Bob, this first video is called Race Around Bases. So Here we go. We'll pull this video up and you get to call the play-by-play.
And we got the guy in black heading down the back stretch, and it looks like he is going to be caught. It looks like he's got no chance. Who is that? Is that Usain Bolt coming up behind him on the warning track in the full bodysuit? Oh, he's going to run out of gas. Oh, he taunts the crowd and then face plants and loses. That is absolutely perfect. This is worth another look. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Yeah, get it up for me. Face plant. That is beautiful. You deserve to lose if you're going to taunt while you're getting beat.
100%.
All right, did I hang in there? Was that all right?
Oh, yeah.
Without having any idea what I was about to look at.
Come on.
All right.
All right, here you go. You ready for another spin?
Sure, let's spin it again. Let's see what happens.
Oh, this is a favorite of mine here, Bob. Get ready for this one. This one's called Lemurs Getting Towed Up.
Poison is found.
Oh, for a second there, I thought I had a color commentator. Oh, that is beyond disgusting. We've got a centipede that is crawling over a log, and now it becomes lunch. So I'm going to try to keep my lunch down as I watch lemurs eating bugs. And this is like, there's got to be something better in the forest to eat than that, right? Isn't there like a peach tree or some type of papaya nearby? God, this is absolutely awful. All right, well, let's get out of this. As it looks like he's starting to not only eat the centipede, but put the centipede someplace where the centipede is going to be humiliated to be after getting eaten. Oh, is that highway robbery right there? Was that a pickpocket? Did that guy go back door and take the hit centipede from the other guy? Oh man.
Well, if we got better close-up shots there of the lemur's eyes, so the centipede that they eat actually gets them high.
Oh, got it.
So
is that a thing?
That is a thing. That
really
is definitely a thing, and the lemurs do it on the regular to have some fun with that, and then they all head to a fish show and they ride the rail.
That's like lemurs in the shakedown, basically.
It's a bunch of wooks. They're right, jungle wooks.
Absolutely. That's like lemurs post-show looking for a good bean burrito out in the parking lot. All right.
Let's spin the wheel again. Let's see what we got. Oh, here you go, Bob. This one's called Referee Leg Lock. Play-by-play this one here.
Okay. Oh, that's a good straight left jab. He's got him backed up against the ropes. These two are, I guess, in round number one. Oh, that is right on the chin. And that is going to be the referee now taking over. It is is that a figure four leg lock? Is the camel clutch going to show up anytime soon in deference to the late Iron Sheik? That guy wins because the referee took out the opponent? This seems like the oddest sport of all time. You get knocked out, and the referee takes you down, and the other guy wins. The referee should win, right? Like, whatever the winner's check is, if there's like a moment where Jim Gray comes in and holds up a big cardboard check in front of somebody, it should be the referee that wins the money.
All right. You got time for one more?
Sure, do one more.
All right. Let's spin the wheel. What do we got? Oh, Bob, welcome to Lizard versus Kangaroo.
Okay.
What?
Now, this doesn't even look like a lizard. Is this like a Komodo dragon? That looks like a Komodo dragon. Komodo dragon approaching as the sun appears over the horizon. Random bird on a branch, and the Komodo dragon is eating. Was that a bird? A turtle? That's a bird. All right, so he's having breakfast. That's fine. And now somewhere appearing through the brush is the kangaroo. Oh, little side eye from the Komodo dragon. Ears up for the kangaroo. Oh, there's a baby. Oh, so you got to protect the baby. So that's what this is where we're going to start to get a little sensitive, right? So this guy's coming after the baby and the papoose. And I'm sensing, because I know kangaroos can fight, I'm sensing there's a right cross coming at some point, and this lizard's going to get it. I think he's walking into a trap. Showing some speed, though. That is really good open field speed. I don't know what this lizard's 40 time is, but he's probably killed it at the combine. Still can't catch the kangaroo, though. At some point, is he just going to get tired and get worn out? And I thought they were going to square off, but maybe it was just a foot race. Was that like a king cobra? Are we bringing an entire other predator into the mix?
It's like a battle. It's like it was going to be a battle royal.
Yeah, for a second there, it looked like it might have been. All right, I'm sure I was lame at that, but I gave it a shot.
You're never lame, Bob. Never lame. Come on, dude. Listen, I can't thank you enough for joining us here on the program. Dude, it's always a pleasure to get a chance to talk to you. Let me ask you this here. When we've got our Jam on Fantasy Football draft, when that actually happens, which is, after I get back from being a dirty wook at, in Colorado, which
nice.
Can't wait. Are you drafting your Jets this year?
If I can.
Yeah.
When was the last time that, and I don't know how much people are going to believe in Breece Hall off his knee, but when was the last time that the Jets would legitimately have like 4 or 5 skill guys that would reasonably go in the mix of like their fellow position groups? Or like Garrett Wilson's going to be a very highly drafted wide receiver. I would think Breece Hall would be a very highly drafted running back. I would think Aaron Rodgers would be a reasonably highly drafted quarterback. I don't know if he'd be top 5. I would imagine he'd probably be top 10. When was the last time that happened?
Never a clock. I've never seen it. Absolutely. What if I told you Garrett Wilson tail end of the first round? Would you be okay with that?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, obviously those pass catching running backs are always going to go first, you would think, right? I mean, but how many wide receivers would you put ahead of Garrett Wilson?
Well, it's a hell of a question. How many would you put ahead?
I mean, no more than 3 or 4. I think he's the 4th or 5th wide receiver in fantasy football this year easily. And there might be some that might reach for him at like 1 or 2. Who knows? I mean, he might at the end of the year put up the best numbers of any wide receiver in the NFL. It is possible. And the early indications of watching he and Aaron, at practice and in the preseason has been that the chemistry's there. Like the kismet is there. I think Aaron Rodgers really believes in him.
Well, all right. Well, Bob, I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for joining us here today, man.
As always.
Crowd loves you. That's our studio audience that you can't really see. They're all hanging out with me in here.
That's fine. Yeah. No, we can, you're really what we should see on camera.
But and the trophy.
Yeah, the trophy, of course.
I just want to make sure you saw the trophy.
5 times now.
Just 5? Do you want?
There we go. There we go. Point to it again.
There's.
You have
7?
a telestrator? Can you circle it? There you go. All right, Howard.
Bob, take care of yourself, man. My love to your darling wife, to your beautiful children who I've all met, and and I will see you probably sooner than you won't.
Absolutely. Good luck with the show, man.
Thanks, brother.
Bob,
Wischusen. Everybody. Oh, man. Give him a follow on Twitter, ESPN Bob. Just great stuff. Great stuff. I got to be honest with you. I was not expecting. Bernard, get in here, man. You're a Jets fan too. Let me ask you, did that give you hope? Does it make you worried? Where's the emotion for you on that?
I'll say this. I agree with Bob that at least in my lifetime, I have not been this excited for a season in a while. And I don't try to be like the positive person all the time. I'm a reasonable Jets fan. I come into the season with reasonable expectations, but for this year, I mean, I'm excited. I cannot wait. And of course, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt week 2. And things just don't go this way for the Jets. But we'll see. There's a lot of reason for optimism. Like you said, everything's hunky-dory right now. Everybody's happy. Aaron's happy. So let's just get to week 1. Let's see how things go week 1 against Buffalo. That'll be the beginning.
That will be the beginning for sure. But you know what? With all of the pomp and all the circumstance and all the excitement that we've given to all of you Jets fans out there, I wasn't even announce it yet. Look at you. I'm bringing everybody back to reality right now because tonight's Final Five, that's right, 5 most embarrassing moments in Jets history. That train wreck. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. 5th, we'll start off. We'll go 5. So 5 most embarrassing moments in New York Jets history. Number 5, Geno Smith gets sucker punched by Enkampali, the linebacker, in the locker room. He's gone. Ryan Fitzpatrick takes over as the Jets QB. We never give Geno another shot. And then what happens? He becomes the 6th most prolific passer in the NFL for the Seattle Seahawks. Ironically, for a coach, we let get away from us as well in Pete Carroll. Number 4, I got to bring it back to the early 80s. Jets in the AFC Championship game going up against the Miami Dolphins. We win. We go to the Super Bowl. We're all excited about it. And boom, A.J. Dewey intercepts a pass. The Jets never recover from it. We're a trash organization. We lose. We don't go to the Super Bowl. We're the worst. The 3rd most embarrassing moment in Jets history. Yeah, there it is. Joe Namath. What are you doing, buddy? Trying to get to first base with Susie Colbert. Come on, Joe. You know, just one of the iconic heroes, Broadway Joe, the fur coat, the stockings, all the stuff that the 70s had to offer. And this is what we get, Joe. An embarrassing moment like that. Horrible, horrible, horrible time. 2nd most just embarrassing moment in Jets history. It's got to be the fake spike. It has to be the fake spike. Dan Marino drives the Dolphins down the field. Time's running out. Jets look like they're going to win this one. They're hoping they're going to win this one. Dan Marino fake spike in the ball. And as the Jets all bite on the fake, he tosses the ball into the corner of the end zone. Dolphins win. Jets lose. Jets go home. Jets are a disaster. From that game forth, the Jets have just were just a doomed and cursed franchise. It was absolutely atrocious. And then here we go. The absolute worst, most embarrassing moment in Jets history. Oh, my God. It's the butt fumble. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Mark Sanchez, an embarrassment. Terrible. Never recovered from this. And this image right here burned into everybody's brain who's a Jets fan. So when you're getting all excited about Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall, just make sure you keep your emotions in check. You keep your Jets fandom based in reality and keep that image in your mind, the butt fumble. That's going to do it for us here on Getting Buzzed. A huge thanks to Bob Wischusen for joining us. And even bigger thanks to Adam Bernard for helping me put all of this together. Oh, baby. We ride or die, Jets fans alike. And away we go. But that's going to do it for us here on Getting Buzzed. I thank all of you for tuning in here. For Adam Bernard, for Bob Wischusen, I'm Howard Bender. We'll catch you next time.